And so my left side and my right side and the background panels are all glued together. If I put tape here and I don't want to see it, I could remove it. If there's no tape in the back, that's the best. If I want to cover this up just for decorative purposes, I know it's the back of the artwork, but I could take an extra piece of paper, I could glue it on there, and that's going to cover it up and hide that. Or maybe you have the cardboard side showing, just like this. Okay, so regardless, today we're going to put the middle ground and the foreground onto our artwork. You're going to need tabs. The tabs should be about the height of your tunnel book and should be 2 inches wide. I've already cut one, so I'm going to make the other one. Now you can use the same chipboard material or cardboard material from your cereal box, or for this step you could use paper. Again, you want this to be about 2 inches. Okay, and you can make a line, and you can use your scissors to cut that. If you're using paper, well, if you're using cardboard, you would definitely want to use scissors. If you're using thin paper, you could put the flat end of the ruler connecting those dots, press down firmly on the ruler, and you can sort of tear the paper up like this. You have to press firmly on the ruler. And so without cutting it, I created this line. Now, if you look carefully, there is a bit of a sort of a rough or natural edge to the paper. And so that's just, if you don't like that, then use scissors. Okay. So I'm going to keep this paper around just in case I'm gluing something and I want to protect my surface. Okay, because we don't want glue on there. Now, you're going to fold these tabs in half. Make a nice crease. Okay. Basically just corner to corner, then crease. And so now I've got that. Okay, you're going to want to use your Elmer's glue. A glue stick in some ways would be quicker because it dries quicker, but it's also not going to be as strong. So I'm going to use Elmer's glue. So this is sort of the direction I want to put this paper. I want this part of the tab. This is what's going to hold it to the side panel. So the glue is going to go on the outside here. Remember, dot, 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 dot. It's not a lot of glue, but it's enough. And I'm going to put this someplace, because I only have one middle ground, I'm going to put this about in the middle. So where that crease is there, that's about 1.5 to 2 inches. On this side, it's about 1.5 to 2 inches. I could put it directly in the center if I want. So it's about 1.25 inches. Closer to 2 inches there. That should be good enough. I like that. 2 inches from here to here. You can make yours a little different if you'd like. That will take a minute to dry, or a couple minutes to dry. And you want to press down on this area here where the glue is touching to kind of get the glue to spread a little. You can also put a little bit of masking tape to help hold it in place so it doesn't move around. Okay, a small amount of masking tape should be fine. You don't need a lot of masking tape. You could keep that there. It's going to be somewhat hidden. But the glue is really what's strong and what's going to hold it all together. So now, I'm moving on to the other side. I'm going to add the glue. Again, dot, dot, not a lot. Doesn't have to be in one straight line. Could be kind of like, you just want enough on there, it's going to hold it all together. Again, the tab here is sort of facing into the book. And again, I want it to be about the same. So about 2 inches. Okay, that's about center. And again, just a small amount of tape to kind of hold it in place. Now for you, you can kind of like set that there and let it sit and dry for 3 or 4 minutes. Okay, and so this is what it's sort of created here. Okay, it's a place where I can attach my middle ground. Now, before I put the middle ground on, I'll put the background on. You might have already done that. Here's my background image. It says background image. Now yours, of course, is going to have a wonderful drawing or artwork. Again, I might do dot, 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 dot. Just one dot in the center. I don't want a lot of glue in the center. But around the edges. Jeremiah, put your headphones on. I could spread that out better. I could put more dots around the sides, around the very edge of the paper. Press this on nicely. You can see I cut it a little small, but that's okay, since this is just a demo. And this part's a little tricky. It's a little tricky, one, because I'm trying to get this in the camera view. If I didn't have to worry about that, it would be a little easier. But I'm going to put some glue. Again, you want to wait till this dries. It's a little soon for me to do this, but again, I'm doing a demonstration and I don't want to make you watch glue dry. So again, dot, 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 dot. Sort of on the edge, maybe a couple dots closer to the other edge. Now, my middle ground is not quite complete. You need to put completed drawings. Okay? So, you can see that I can kind of just hold this here nicely. I can see that it's on here good. I can kind of press down, kind of firm. I'm not going to do this side until this dries. If I try to glue both of these, it's going to pull itself apart. For the sake of demonstration, well, one, you could put a paper clip here. I'm going to put a little bit of tape. I'm going to fold this over. Again, you can kind of just hold it in place. You can use paper clips. You could do what I'm doing with the tape. I'm a little bit worried if I try to take the tape off that it might ruin my drawing. But, I want to be able to move to the next step to show you. So that's going to keep it in place while the glue is drying. So again, you would want to wait a few minutes, 2-3 minutes, while this dries. You also might want to put tape there or a paper clip that you can just remove later. And now I'm going to attach this to the other side here. Now if you're wondering why I didn't draw a background image, I did draw, and I'm using this little thing to stand in. I did draw a background image. I just, last class, used it for a different demonstration. And so for the sake of the demonstration, that's standing in. So my next side here, the same thing. Dot, dot. I'm kind of getting the left side and right side of the tab, but not too much glue. It would be too messy. Okay. This part's a little challenging, especially if this side's not dry yet. But if it's dry, it's not going to be too bad. So if everything is dry and you're trying to do this, you're going to be okay. Now this part gets a little tricky. You either have to hold it like this for a little bit, or again, have paper clips or tape nearby. Okay?
Did her thing die? Did the teacher's thing die?
It moved a little on me, so I might want to kind of bring this back. Put that tape there. So you can see here where it's separating. that means the glue's not dry. Now, of course, I just did this a minute ago, so it's not dry, but you'd want to give yourself more time. Okay, so you can kind of see how that's working. You can kind of see the shadow in there because there's that space there. Okay, so even though it's coming apart there now, add a little tape. You may not have that same problem because you're going to be waiting for the glue to dry. But even if you didn't wait for the glue to dry, you can see that it's still possible to do this.
No.
The tape is very helpful. Did I give you guys tape? Or is that just 3D? Or you guys are 3D. Yeah, I gave you guys tape. I'm getting some pieces of tape ready. Cutting off, a 1/4 of an inch of tape, putting it to the side on my table. Again, if you can't do that on your table, if your table is a very nice table and you don't want to do that, you don't need to. You could put the tape like that so that it's ready, so you can just kind of get it. Again, this would be a lot easier if I was allowing my glue to dry.
No, science teacher.
Dot, dot, dot,
I'm a science
dot.
teacher.
Hey Jeremiah, I need you to stop talking. Unless you're talking to your teacher.
There is no teacher.
Then no talking. Okay, I'm putting the glue on both sides. And I have my tape ready. Again, you don't have to worry about keeping this in camera view. So you can kind of angle this any way that you need to that feels comfortable. Again, you don't have to put tape on yours. You could just sort of, you could use paper clips if you have them. You could also use clear tape if you have it.
I use all.
You could also just kind of hold it down for a minute or two. Those are all okay options. And again, typically you want that other side to dry before you start doing this side. Okay. So my tunnel book is officially done. I've got my foreground, my middle ground, and my background image. If I were to stand this up, okay, you can kind of see there. Because my glue wasn't dry, it sort of pulled apart a little and it warped. We're using a rather thin paper, drawing paper. It might warp a little, or it might do things like that. Those mistakes, when I look at the image in this direction, that doesn't bother me very much. It looks okay. When I look in this direction, I see that it's curved, but again, that doesn't really matter. And because my glue has technically not dried, I could still fix that. Okay, let me switch cameras here.